What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPaPa, and you know, in the middle of every single month, I pull together all kinds of information about the different eras. I do it for Sword and Shield, I do it for XY, I do it for Sun and Moon, I do it for Scarlet and Violet, and some of the things that I look at are how the top 20 singles cards have moved month over month, and I also look at how the aggregate of all the booster boxes have moved month over month, and so I just got done pulling together the Sword and Shield view, and I promise you I'll show you that whole video, you know, probably about a week from now. I'm still getting some information, but really cool movement in the Sword and Shield space. But one of the things that jumped out at me immediately that I wanted to get in front of you all today is the fact that the booster boxes are starting to go on the rise again. Now, if you remember, we had that period where Sword and Shield booster boxes started to sell out really quickly at the Pokemon Center, right? And then everybody went absolutely nuts. Alt arts went through the roof, booster boxes went through the roof, etc., etc. It was a wild time. Now, ever since then, we have seen the alt art start to come back down to earth quite a bit, and even the booster boxes saw a little bit of regression, as you can see on this graph right here. This graph represents that aggregate booster box price from September of last year all the way till October of now, so you're looking at 13 months worth of data here. But what jumped off the page at me is we're starting to see the booster box prices increase a little bit, and we all have seen in the past where sometimes these sets, these eras, these particular products will kind of flatline or even decline for a little while right before they go on a bit of a run. Now, I have no idea if that's what Sword and Shield booster boxes are about to do, but we're going to be talking about some sealed Sword and Shield products today that I am all kinds of excited about. Now, when you think about it, we are coming to the end of Scarlet and Violet Year 2, and we still have some amazing Sword and Shield products that we can either get at MSRP or really close to MSRP, and that's just wild, right? Like, being able to buy Sword and Shield products today at their current state, like, you have leapfrogged 2 years worth of waiting essentially, because again, we're in the end of Year 2 of Scarlet and Violet. And the other thing that is incredibly important about being able to buy Sword and Shield products now is, you know, like, a lot of the uncertainty is gone. You know what the big sets are, you know what the big chase cards are going to be, you don't know when the value is going to be unlocked, you don't know when they're going to reach full potential, you don't know what the final price might be, but we do certainly know where all of the big products are and what the big cards are. So with that being said, we're going to be looking at 10 sealed Sword and Shield products right now that I think have some awesome opportunity for long-term gains, and at the end of the day, I just think are fun to talk about. So before we get into that, as I always say, listen, if you enjoy fun stuff like this, we do it all the time, hit that subscribe button. If you have questions or comments, drop them down below. And as always, if you like what you see, give us a big old thumbs up. So the very first two products that I wanted to talk about that I'm actually really excited about is one new and one old. Now, you know I love big boxes, right? I love big boxes that have a smattering of different packs in them because they have a very strong track record of success. If you go back and if you look on TCG Player, you look at sealed products, anything that has like 12 or more packs in it, which both of these boxes do, they have a very strong track record of success. And that's because, you know, the odds of having a big hit in that box are incredibly high, because guess what? You have all these different sets, and certain sets are going to be hot and certain sets are going to be cold. But again, at this stage in the Sword and Shield life cycle, we already know what's going to be hot. And what I love about these two boxes is the fact that you're not going to find Vivid Voltage, you're not going to find Darkness Ablaze, you're not going to find Battle Styles, you're not going to find Sword and Shield Base, right? Like, we know that the cards and the packs that are in these boxes are quality packs for the Sword and Shield era. Now, the one is the Heavy Hitters box, which was available at Sam's, which is now kind of gone by the wayside, but guess what? That's okay, because you can still get it on eBay for around $65. And the other product here is a Legendary Warriors box, which was just announced, and for now, the only place that I can see it is going to be for sale in Walmart in Canada. I don't know if it's going to come over to where I live in the US. I don't know if I'm going to have the ability to buy it from Canadian Walmarts and have it shipped. I have to figure all that out. But again, you're looking at two awesome boxes with a large collection of packs, which are towards the back end of Sword and Shield, which have some of the very best packs, very best cards, very best artwork in a long time in them. So it's really hard to go wrong with either of these boxes in the $65 range. Now, that graph that I have down below is an interesting comparison. So what I did was I went and I pulled all of the Sun and Moon booster pack prices right now, just to kind of ground us a little bit. And you'll see, starting from left to right, we have Cosmic Eclipse booster packs, right now, going for like $30, which is absolutely wild in my mind. Then it works all the way to the right of Sun and Moon booster packs, going for $6.54. So If you average all those booster pack prices out, the average pack price is $18.34. But then remember what I said, to the right of that, I have the average of the final 8 sets of the Sun and Moon era. Well, and that's because guess what? These are all of the quality packs from Sword and Shield. So I thought, hey, listen, the average of those final 8 sets is $23.36 per pack. But then I took it one step further and I said, okay, listen, Team Up is a very unique set, wildly underprinted. Booster boxes are going for $2,400 now at this point. Like Sword and Shield, at least right now, doesn't have a Team Up equivalent. So I did the final 7 sets and I pulled out Team Up. Again, I'm always trying to get the best comparison information that I can. So I pulled those final 7 sets and I pulled Team Up out, and the average pack price is $19.19. And you might be wondering, why am I saying that? Well, it's because when I look at these boxes with these late era Sword and Shield sets, even if these packs end up being half as valuable as Sun and Moon, right? Because Sun and Moon was a different era. I think the sealed collecting wasn't quite as prevalent then as it is now. So for all those reasons, even if it gets to half as valuable, even if these Sword and Shield packs get to $10, which, spoiler alert, I think a lot of them are going to be more than that, then guess what? You have 14 packs in each of these. You're looking at an intrinsic value of $140, plus there's always going to be a sealed premium on top of that. So I think these booster boxes have a very strong opportunity for long-term price appreciation because they've got some awesome packs in them. Now, you can get that Tyranitar and Lucario box right there. You can get it with Evolving Skies packs in it. You're going to pay a premium for that, so if you want to go that route, you can, but just be very, very careful when you're buying it because some have Evolving, some don't. Make sure you have a clear picture of it, but I think these 2 boxes, for both of the reasons that I was talking about, have an awesome opportunity for maybe some long-term price appreciation. The next product I'm looking at right here is Brilliant Stars, okay? And I know this is a product which is way above MSRP already. Again, $181.87 is the market price right now. Obviously, MSRP is about $144. But again, think about how much we are so far beyond the end of Sword and Shield. And when I look at the set of Brilliant Stars, I think Brilliant Stars has some opportunity, but I do think overall it is a undervalued set, which is crazy. You know, this is the best Charizard set from the Sword and Shield era, yet it is still considered undervalued. So whenever I'm thinking about that, the reason I come up with that is because I look at the top 15, top 20 cards, and these are the top 15 cards in Brilliant Stars right now. So of course, you have this awesome battle scene with Charizard at the very top. Now, the risk there is there's about 4 million of these in PSA 10 holders, okay? So this is not a short printed card. And then you have the number 2 card, right? That Charizard V-Star. Again, rainbow cards and Sword and Shield just didn't quite hit the way I think a lot of us wanted them to. So not a lot of value in that one. But when you look at it in its entirety, when you look at these top 15 cards, right? Mostly when I'm doing these videos of information that's pushed from TCG Player, we look at our, weekly, we look at the movers and shakers. We always look at the most popular cards. We look at the ones that have gained the most in value. Evolutions have been going absolutely insane for like the last, 6 or 8 months. It's crazy. So when you get beyond the Charizards in Brilliant Stars, you got Umbreon up there, you got Sylveon, and both of those cards, well, all 4 of those cards have amazing artwork. And then you have this Arceus alt art, which is absolute fire, right? I mean, all of them. You even got a Moltres down there. I know it's a gold card and those don't do well, but if you look, there's a lot of older gold cards that are starting to appreciate in value, and the Ultra Ball there at the very top, and even the Charizard V, right? The full art one, that card is stunning too. So when I put all of that together, when I think about Brilliant Stars in its totality, I do think that the booster boxes are at least a fair price right now at $181. Again, if you look at some of these Sun and Moon booster boxes, the big ones are all over $600 at this point. Now, I'm not saying Sword and Shield is going to follow suit. Again, a lot more sealed collectors in the Sword and Shield era, but I do think $181 right now for a Brilliant Stars booster box. If you don't have it in this collection, and if you want more, I think it's a really great price point. So sticking with Brilliant Stars, believe it or not, you can still get these 3-pack blisters on the Pokemon Center website. Now, I know the whole world doesn't have access to it, and you might be wondering, hey, why am I talking about these Pokemon Center 3-pack blisters from Brilliant Stars? They're just 3-pack blisters. Well, we have done a ton of data dives in the past, and 3-pack blisters have this crazy rate of return, which not a lot of people talk about, right? And I was just telling you how evolutions are going crazy, and the promo cards in this is a Leafeon and a Glaceon, and we can do a like-for-like comparison. Now, I know Fusion Strike is a heavy hitter right now compared to Brilliant Stars. Fusion Strike, Chilling Reign, Lost Origin, you know what I mean? Those are kind of the big ones right now outside of Evolving Skies. But when you look at what the Fusion Strike 3-pack blisters have done ever since they sold out on the Pokemon Center, I mean, they're almost 2x, right? They're $12.99 at MSRP. This is at $24.31, so not quite 2x, but I mean, you're talking about a significant jump here over MSRP. And this is just a great product to buy and hold. Doesn't take up a ton of space, right? And if you look on eBay, these do sell with a certain degree of velocity, because again, having a great product is one thing, but you always want to make sure that there are open arms to buy it in the future as well. So if you go on eBay and if you start looking at 3-pack blisters and you click, so you filter just by sold items, you're going to see that these do sell with a certain degree of velocity. So it's not a product you'd be stuck with. So again, we're talking about Brilliant Stars, which is an amazing set. Just in the top 15 cards alone, it's fire. Then you got 3-pack blisters, which have a strong track record of performance. Then you got evolutions in here. I mean, it's hard to argue against these products here as well. So again, you can buy it at MSRP. I think that's a really cool opportunity. And again, Fusion Strike has already showed us what these could possibly do further down the road when they're sold out. The next thing that I'm talking about is Battle Styles. And Battle Styles is a set that I have thought a lot about for a very long time. Matter of fact, you could go back a year ago and I've been bullish on Battle Styles. Now, guess what? The value in Battle Styles hasn't been unlocked. It doesn't matter what I think. What matters is what the market thinks. And as much as I love Battle Styles, guess what? The market doesn't love Battle Styles because it's still sub MSRP at $134.55 a booster box. Now, if you go all the way back a year ago, right? You're talking about January and earlier, this was a $100 booster box. And that was when I was saying, hey, listen, I think there's some upside here. But still, I expected it to be higher by now. I truly did. So that was kind of a miss on my part. But one of the reasons I expected it to be higher is because what I have before you in this graph, these are the 5 most expensive cards from 4 different sets in the Sword and Shield era. And these are 4 sets that have a lot of brand name recognition. These are 4 really good sets. And I think when I show you the different sets, you're going to be very, very surprised. So when you look at it, these are what they are. So you have Silver Tempest, Battle Styles, Brilliant Stars, and Astral Radiance. And at the bottom, I have the aggregate value. And guess what? The aggregate value for the top 5 cards in Battle Styles is higher than the top 5 cards in Silver Tempest. It's higher than the top 5 cards in Brilliant Stars. It's higher than the top 5 cards in Astral Radiance, yet still nobody loves Battle Styles, okay? And then when you look at the Chase card there at the very top, guess what? That's in second place. The only one that's higher is the Chase card in Silver Tempest, which is the Lugia. Then when you look at the number 2 card, Battle Styles has the most expensive number 2 card. Then when you look at the number 3 card, they have the second most expensive number 3 card, the most expensive number 4 card, and then they're tied for second place with the number 5 card. So, Warren Buffett has this really cool saying. He says, in the short run, the market is a voting machine, and in the long run, the market is a weighing machine. And that's a really interesting thing, and it applies more to stocks, right? Because stocks have actual revenue that they generate, and they're actually attached to a company. But when I was thinking about Battle Styles, that was kind of a phrase that came to my mind, because I think the voting machine right now is not a big fan of Battle Styles. But if it truly is going to be a weighing machine in the long run, and if these cards can continue to hold the value that they have, then I do think Battle Styles has a great opportunity. And it's a Sword and Shield booster box, sub MSRP, that has alt arts in it, and that Sleepy T-Tar at the top is absolute fire. So I thought this was a really cool comparison. Remember, on this channel, I'm not just going to tell you the what, I'm always going to try and explain to you the why, and I thought this was a really compelling reason as to why Battle Styles booster boxes might be, hey, worth taking a look at here, as long as it's sub MSRP. Now, the next product we're talking about, you know that I love my Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes. I love them more in the Scarlet and Violet era. I simply think that because they have those stamped promos, I think that they're going to command a much higher value longer down the road. And, the Sword and Shield era Elite Trainer boxes aren't quite as exciting for me. But what was exciting for me was to watch what happened with Fusion Strike when it went sold out on the Pokemon Center. It has appreciated, and it has appreciated more than the regular Elite Trainer box version. But this isn't about Fusion Strike. What this is about is Lost Origin. So when I was looking at Lost Origin Elite Trainer or Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes, they're still available on the Pokemon Center, right? So you can get them at MSRP. And then I was looking at the most recent sold prices here on TCG Player. And, the market price right now for this box is $70. You can buy it at MSRP at $59.99. And you'll see that this is routinely selling for higher than $59.99. Now, take it with a grain of salt, because guess what? Just because you buy it for $59.99 and you sell it for $70, right, you don't make a $10 profit. There's taxes that are involved in all of that. There's shipping that's involved in all of that. These things are not trivial when it comes to shipping, so you would still probably be selling at a loss. But what I want you to think about is the long-term opportunity here. And when you look at the booster box prices right now, overall, Lost Origin is right up there with Fusion Strike. So Evolving Skies is number 1, and then from a booster box perspective, you have Lost Origin and you have Chilling Reign, and again, I mean, they're just kind of fighting for that second place spot with Fusion Strike. And Lost Origin, I love the Giratina at the top. I love the total card lineup for Lost Origin. So I do think in the long run, it has an opportunity. This isn't a product that's going to pop off overnight, right? If you have a long-term time horizon, if you already feel like you've got all the booster boxes that you need, I think this would be a really cool opportunity to pick this up. But again, this isn't something that's going to 2 or 3x in the short run, nor should you ever expect that, right? Like, that's just unrealistic. When that happens, you should be happy, but it's not something that you should expect. But this would certainly be nothing but a long-term buy and hold. But I do love Lost Origin, and I do love this box. Now, next thing that we're talking about right here, and I'm approaching this with a degree of trepidation because in the beginning, I think all of us thought these Sea and Sky boxes from, that come from Sam's Club, right? We thought that these boxes were going to be in short supply, and they absolutely have not been. I was in Dallas last week at a Sam's, and they had them. You know, where I live, we have them, so I don't think that they're short by any stretch of the imagination. But again, you're getting 14 Crown Zenith packs in here for $40. That is an absolute steal. Crown Zenith is such a beautiful set. Everybody's going to have these awesome memories of opening them. I bought 2 of these because we're about to get on a plane, so my kids can open 14 packs each on this ridiculously long plane flight that we're going on. But my biggest concern is Crown Zenith overprinted. Crown Zenith just doesn't seem to go away. Again, this was the last set, the final specialty set in the Sword and Shield era, yet it continues to show up all over the place. And again, lots of packs here for a very deep discount. So what's the long-term value going to be? I don't necessarily know, but I do think that Crown Zenith is going to be remembered very fondly far into the future, and that certainly can have a big piece in people valuing the product further in the future and could give this the opportunity for some maybe upside down the road. Now, next one right here that I've got to talk about, again, I referenced earlier when we do all of these TCG player pushed informations, you know, the movers and shakers list, the hottest cards list, right? The cards that have gained the most in value. And I'm gonna tell you right now, these Play Pokemon prize packs are absolutely on fire. Look at the pricing for some of these cards. The Charizard's at $750 right now. Now the market price is lower than that at $400, but if you go on eBay, these prices aren't far off from what people are actually paying for these cards. And when you think about the ratio between the value of the cards that are in them versus the pack price, I do think that these are actually fairly valued right now. Now, this could be a bit of a fad. I want to approach this one with a degree of trepidation. I don't know how long people are going to be into these stamped cards. I mean, it's the exact same artwork as you can get for literally fractions of the price. The only difference is it's got that Play Pokemon stamp on it. But again, doesn't matter what I think. I will tell you right now, the market is absolutely on fire over these cards. And so when these packs coming in at $17, $13 for the Series 2, $17 for the Series 1, like those are kind of the two big series right now where you get a lot of these big cards from. If the market continues to be this excited about it, and if these cards with these stamps on them can continue to be hot for long into the future, then I think that you will see these packs absolutely pop off in value. It was just absolutely fascinating for me to watch how this has kind of evolved over the last couple months. We do data dives all the time on this channel. We've been doing it for 2 years. I don't know if I've ever seen a sub product like this pop off the way we have seen with these Play Pokemon cards. It's just absolutely incredible to watch, and it's been kind of exciting. Hopefully it holds on, so we'll just have to wait and see on that. Now, the last one we're going to talk about right here is a little bit of a gimme, okay? So it's Silver Tempest booster boxes, and Silver Tempest booster boxes have been on stock for a long, long time on the Pokemon Center. And again, you're buying an end-of-era Sword and Shield booster box at MSRP. As I said earlier, that Lugia Chase card is up there. There seems to be like 4 gajillion of those cards out in the market, but it doesn't matter. That Lugia Chase card still seems to be up in the $160 range. We're going to have to wait for this product to sell out. Outside of the Lugia, it's just not my favorite set. But as I said, it seems to be a lot of people's favorite sets. When you think about where the market price right now is, the market price is way higher than where this the MSRP is right now. So if you are near a Pokemon Center like we are here in the US or up in Canada or over in Europe, you know, and you can still have an option to get this at MSRP, I think you could do far, far worse than that. So listen, that's it. I ended with a layup. This has been a ton of fun. I really enjoyed doing the research on this video to come up with these items. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. There's a ton of different Sword and Shield products out there that are still at really approachable price points. So I would love to hear which ones are your favorites. So if you made it to the end of the video and you like this content, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. And if you have questions or comments, drop them down below. I appreciate you more than I can say. I hope you have an epic one, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.